Good morning, beautiful people. We're going to jump right into today's message. We're going to tap in with love energy, the energy that is guiding us towards something beautiful that's trying to be created in this moment. The energy that is telling us that life is still worth living in moments of chaos, and that the beauty that we see, that we feel as we go through the day and the day to day, even though there is pain and suffering happening, is just as real and just as valid and wants to be pushed out into the world just as strongly as the separation and the greed and the lack of empathy that we're seeing coming from certain aspects of society right now. So we're going to tap into that energy, see what love creator energy has to give to us today to help make a more loving world, a more just world, a more connected world, part of our ongoing story and part of our reality. So as I'm tapping in, I'm really actually just getting a lot of the messages flashing through that have been part of these messages for the past couple weeks. I'm hearing turbulence is expected. I'm hearing make sure that you're connecting with your neighbors. I'm hearing that emotions are really vital for what we're trying to build into, bring into this reality, right? That if we are experiencing some of our deepest, darkest thoughts as if they are happening in the present, we are cueing our emotional body to react as if it's happening in the present as well. We are experiencing the images in our head, the thoughts in our head, as if we are walking through them in real time. And the same is with like positive feelings, quote unquote positive feelings, right? Those feelings that we want to see, we want to experience more of, those feelings of peace, those feelings of grounding, those feelings of confidence, those feelings of acceptance, those feelings of openness, right? If we are visioning them in our heads, if we're walking through that reality, we are also having our body respond to those moments, to those images, as if they are happening in real time as well. So this is really just a message that's pulling in all the wisdom that's been given to us over the past few weeks. And the focus is really on our emotional body today and how important it is to what we're trying to do in this moment of creating something new. So they're talking about being able to identify your emotions as being super important, being able to identify having many emotions at once. Sometimes as we're walking through the world, especially as adults, people will be like, hey, how are you doing today? And out of our mouth always comes out, oh, good, great, doing okay, even though that's very rarely the truth, that is the only emotion we're feeling at the moment. But sometimes as adults, we stop and pause after that interaction and we're like, I don't even know how to describe what I'm feeling right now. Because even though the world is really hard and I'm scared and I am kind of paralyzed in a little bit, I'm also feeling these moments of these little undercurrents of hope and joy, because I just hung out with my really cool dog or my grandbaby this morning, or it's spring and all the flowers are coming out. And how can you not believe that there is a caring, supportive universe when spring is happening before your eyes? So we have these conflicting emotions where we're feeling a lot of things all at once. So today, Spirit is talking about being able to pause and sort out your emotions and being able to name them, specifically. Get out your feelings wheel. If you don't know what a feelings wheel is, go look it up online. And do that as a regular part of your check-in, either at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. Like, what feelings am I feeling this morning as I wake up before I even engage in the world? Or what feelings have I experienced as I've gone through the day today? So that we're able to name them and understand them, so that when we wake up in the morning and we travel through life, we're not just always labeling ourselves as overwhelmed. We're not just labeling our emotional state as scared. We're not just labeling our emotional state as angry, as frustrated, as enraged, right? Because yes, those feelings may be present and they are all valid and important, but Spirit is saying that more often than not, there are other emotions that are still in there that you're experiencing, but without being able to name them and give pause, you're not able to bring them to the surface as easily as these big emotions of rage, of anger, of fear, of concern, right? So what they're saying is all those emotions are completely valid. We're not telling you that you shouldn't be feeling them. We're not telling you that they don't have purpose, that they don't have place, that they're not part of this new creation story. They all are, right? Those are the emotions, especially emotions that are connected to anger, are the emotions that inspire us, that encourage us to move, that encourage us to shift, that encourage us to change, that encourage us to take action. So when you are feeling angry, the question to ask yourself is, what step can I take to create the reality that I'm yearning for? It might be a baby step, but what is one thing that I can do in this moment to use some of this anger to move things forward, right? If you're feeling fear is an emotion that is telling us that we need to pause and check our surroundings and see if we are in fact in immediate harm's way. And if we do, we need to use our team, use our community, connect with people to get to a safe space. And then if we are safe, as we look around and say, okay, in this moment, I am actually safe. Like there's no one around me. My physical space is safe. My mental space is safe. My emotional space is safe, but I'm still feeling this emotion. And say to yourself, can I call in the love energy to help calm some of that down? Because, right, if you are feeling fearful and you are not in harm's way, it's because you're either super empathetic and you're picking up on what everyone else is feeling, or your central nervous system has experienced moments where you've been unsafe so many times that it is just it's on a response loop, it's in a response pattern, and you are in a space where your body is just automatically reacting. So can we call in some love energy, whether that's calling in another human, whether it's calling in your pet to bring you some of that, or whether that's going into that meditative state that's come through in a couple other messages. So all those things are, so anger is about motivating and moving you. Fear is about making sure that you are safe and helping you to stabilize and ground and find the correct space to do that. And we need to be stabilized and we need to be grounded in order to move forward as well, in order to launch into our creation work as well. So those emotions are very valid. But sometimes they can be so loud and out of whack because our bodies are responding to past trauma. Our bodies are responding to past experiences, that they drown out the fact that there also is joy. There also is curiosity. There also is intrigue. There also is excitement. There also is wonder. And there also is gentleness. This emotion that they're kind of just making me feel it, of that, like that gentleness, of that awe-inspiredness of being able to connect to a human, that feeling of closeness, right? All those things could be buried underneath these much louder emotions. So taking time to reflect at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the day, to notice all the emotions that are going on in your body, and giving credit, giving a space, labeling them as real, labeling them as important, labeling them as valuable those emotions that are seen as the emotions that we're searching for, because you are allowed to feel hopeful in this moment. You are allowed to feel joy in this moment. You are allowed to feel connected and that like gentle closeness in this moment. You are allowed to feel inspired and amazed, and you are allowed to be in these moments of wonder. And we need to crank up the volume on them when they are actually already present in our body. We shouldn't pretend we have emotions that we don't. Like if those emotions don't exist, that means that there's some healing work that needs to be done. There's some connecting work that needs to be done. We need to build that community. We need to turn your light on a little bit stronger. But if they're there, even if they're quiet, let's amp them up, because they are already existing in your body and they are just as valuable. And those things of wonder, those things of closeness, those things of joy, that's what's going to, anger gets us to move. Those things get us to focus. Those things get us to do the detailed work. Those things get us to be inspired and be maintained for the long run, because anger wakes us up and turns us on and gets us moving. But if we're operating from that space for an extended amount of time, that's when exhaustion hits, because that's such vibrant fire energy, and eventually it burns so strongly that it burns everything up inside of us. So that sustained long-term, long goal, moving forward energy of love and wonder and curiosity and joy and playfulness. Playfulness is so important, of like that imp-like behavior where you're just kind of playing and you're poking at things and seeing what happens, and like this really fun kind of silly way. All that is really important to keep us moving. So we're really focusing on emotions, it seems like, in the past couple days. And today's message is simply remember that there are multiple emotions occurring in your body at once, and they're all valid, and they are all part of creation. They all are part of movement. But don't over rely on those emotions that do a toll on the body. Those emotions that are like fear and anger, they take a toll on your physical body. So we can't be always operating from those spaces, even though they're valid emotions. We have to bring those natural emotions of joy and wonder and hope and peace and acceptance that are already also percolating in there. We have to bring them further to the surface, amplify them, because they are what's going to sustain us, and they don't affect the physical body in such an extreme way. So I'm going to leave that with you in love and light, and have a great day.